Okay, let's give you guys some more practice. So find the limit of this as x tends to positive infinity. Here the L'Hopital's rule won't work, so you have to use your gut instinct to somehow find the limit of this as x tends to infinity. Okay, so press pause and have a go. Okay, so to do this, if you look at the numerator, you've got one thing, take away another thing. As x tends to infinity, this thing here is going to be irrelevant. So if you look at this bubble here, you've got one bubble, take away another bubble. Well, this bubble here, as x tends to infinity, this bubble here will be irrelevant in comparison to this. So we would consider the numerator as a whole to be negative 5 to the power of x. And then look at the denominator. Here you've got one thing plus another thing. As x tends to infinity, this is going to be a lot bigger than this. So this 4 to the power of x will be irrelevant in comparison to 7 to the power of x. So we would consider the whole denominator as 7 to the power of x. So here, if you look at this versus this, 7 to the power of x is going to get larger and larger a lot faster than 5 to the power of x. So you can see that you've eventually, as x tends to infinity, eventually this thing here will be very big, and then you divide it by something very big. So let's just take the minus out here. So now you've got something very big divided by very big. So it's going to head towards zero from the underside of the graph. It's heading towards, well, if you get a graph plotter and plot it, it will give you this. So you're heading towards zero. So when you come to do this, if you look at the numerator, as x tends to infinity, this is going to be irrelevant. So consider it as negative 5 to the power of x. And then here, the denominator, you've got this thing plus this thing. What's this? Oh, it should be 7. It should be x. It should be 7 to the power of x. Sorry, my mistake. Well, anyway, it's heading towards zero. Next question. So find the limit of, well, here L'Hopital's rule won't work. So somehow use your gut instinct to find the limit of this as x tends to infinity. So press pause and have a go. Okay, so to do this, as x tends to infinity, let's just look at this here. As x tends to infinity, this 3 here is going to be irrelevant. This 3 here is going to be irrelevant. If you look at this here, just looking at this bit here, you've got one thing plus another thing here. As x tends to infinity, this 3 is going to be irrelevant in comparison to this 4x. So let's just consider this as root 4x. Now, as x tends to infinity, down here you've got this thing plus this thing. As x tends to infinity, this number 7 is going to be so small in comparison to this. So let's consider this whole thing here to be root x, because as x tends to infinity, this 7 is going to be irrelevant, and then as x tends to infinity, this thing here is going to be irrelevant. So let's consider the whole thing as this. So now let's rewrite this as this: square root of 4, and then times the square root of x divided by square root of x. So that's going to be 2 root x over x. So over root x. So this is like is heading towards 1, and you've got 2 here. So the limit here will be 2. Okay, so if you get a graph plotter and plot it, it will head towards 2. Okay.